Hi, this is Mark at Ding Dong's Garden, and today we're out here and we're going to talk about currants and gooseberries. It's early in the morning before it gets too hot, and I just thought it would be a good opportunity to get out here and talk about the different varieties we have. This variety is Ben Lomond black currant. Black currants like this, I find them to be pretty strong tasting. They're very popular in Europe, and they're not as popular in the United States. It may be that there's restrictions on them in some states, so they can't be shipped or grown as easily as some other plants. This currant is called pink champagne. The lighter colored currants don't have as strong a taste as the black currants do. And similar to pink champagne, this is another light colored currant called gloire de sablon. And of course, I'll put the names of these in the comment section because I don't do the pronunciation justice. But again, this is probably a little lighter tasting than the black currant. Although I have to say, we did a mixed currant and gooseberry crumble that was just great. That tartness, once you cook it, add a little bit of sugar, that flavor is something else. This is an even lighter one. It's a white currant, and this is called white pearl. And if I'm not sure if you can see inside of these, but they've got a sizable seed, so when you do eat them, you'll taste the seed. And currants are all very tart, but these are a little less tart than the darker colored ones. This is Mulca red currant. I apologize I couldn't get a better sample, but the birds really go after the red currants first. I did see a bird the other day with a huge black currant in its beak. I'm not sure how he ate it. It was so big compared to his beak. But they do seem to grab these red currants first. Again, the red currant is a little milder flavor than the black currant, and it's a pretty good taste right off the vine. Very tart, but it tastes pretty good. And these are gooseberries. This is a Hinamaki gooseberry. And it's much larger than a currant, and it's not as tart. It's not as intense a flavor. And it's got seeds in it. It's definitely not a grape. It's still tart, but it's not as intense a flavor as the other currants, particularly the black currant. But it's just a really nice fruit to have relatively early in the summer, that you can cook with or make jam out of, or there's just a lot of uses for it. Currants and gooseberries don't have a strong tradition in the United States, but it is something that you could add a little bit of variety to your garden. And all ribes, which are currants, gooseberries, and there's another one, jostaberry, I'll show you in a second, they all root from cuttings. So you can take a cutting of first-year wood on these and stick them in dirt, and they'll root out and grow. This is a jostaberry. My understanding is it's kind of a cross between a gooseberry and a currant. And you can kind of taste the difference. It's got a much smoother taste than the currant does, but it's not quite to the same size or mildness of a gooseberry. There's also types of currants that are just flowering currants. Very, very early in the spring, they will put out these beautiful flowers that range from pink to red to one of them called Crandall Black has a great yellow flower. Their fruit is not generally very good. You basically buy them for the flower, but they're a very stunning flower to have in the garden in the early spring. Currants and gooseberries are not the sweetest of fruits. They're very tart. But if you're looking for something different in the garden that you can have as an ingredient for pies or crumbles or jam, you should really consider gooseberries or currants. They grow on their own. They're pretty easy to maintain. They become like a small bush, and they're very easy to root from cuttings. So you don't have to spend a lot of money buying a new tree at a nursery. You can just get a cutting and then grow it out on your own.